everybody, I hope you've been well. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about and reviewing the Axis Elite holster from Tier 1 Concealment. If you're interested in building out your holster like the one that you see here, I'll just kind of give you the rundown of how I built this one. So this one I had built for my M&P shield chambered in 9mm. And this one is, the color is EMT red, and I got the black shock cord and the black clasp on the back that you see there. I also got the Tier 1 Concealment adjustable clips. So these are the easy adjustable clips, and these will slide, up and down depending on how deep you want to carry this within your waistline. And the concealment wing here is adjustable as well. You can take off these little Lego looking pieces using that Phillips head right there. So, loosen these up, move them up and down. You can also set it up so that way you can have a cant if you'd like, if that's kind of your jam. You can cant it forward, cant it back, whatever you find comfortable. It gives you some adjustability in basically a market where typically Appendix carried holsters don't have a lot of adjustability to them. So I really like that. This one is also built without the sweat guard option. So you can get a no sweat guard option, you can get a medium, or you can get a large, or they might call it a high. I'll take another look at that, but I did the one without. I typically do a medium, and the reason why I generally do a medium is when I carry, which is every day, I wear an undershirt, and I don't want the undershirt to overlap into the holster. I don't want it to overlap like into the holster, so when I go to reholster, it snags on the trigger, and then I get a negligent discharge, and I don't want that. But what I've done here is, in all of my training and practice with firearms, it's never actually been a problem for me. So what I did here is I just went with the no sweat guard option, and I just find that to be more comfortable for me personally. This is unloaded, by the way, so there's no magazine in it, and the chamber is empty, as you can see there, and there's no magazine. So we are good to go, we are safe. So that's the options that I chose for this. You can choose to get, a threaded barrel option if you'd like. You can choose to get an extended magazine option if you like. I just don't have those things, so I didn't go forward with that. So if you want to build out a model similar to what you see here, that's how I have spec'd this out. All right, let's get into the initial impressions of this holster. So my initial impressions of this holster is that it's a fantastic product. It's absolutely an improvement over a holster that was already industry leading in really setting the bar for where holsters should be. And then Tier 1 came out with this, which I think has just raised that bar once again even more. So I can't commend them enough for what they're doing within this space. And you've seen other holster manufacturers follow suit after them and really kind of replicate and copy what it is that Tier 1's doing. So this is an absolute improvement over the previous, what I'll refer to as the standard Aegis and Axis holsters. And I think that's, again, really just, they're really doing great things within this space here. The materials that they use here are really quality materials. The Kydex feels like it's, quality material. My other holster, it's never, cracked or failed on me in any way at all. The Kydex, so they are using good Kydex here. The shock cord, that is a consumable product that will fail after, a period of time. I haven't had that experience where it's failed on me yet. But, I would imagine, probably after 2-3 years of use that you would want to change that out. Again, I can't guarantee that you're going to get 2 or 3 years out of that shock cord, but, it's an $8 part. You can order it direct from them, and it's super simple to install it and uninstall it. And, it's really not a big deal. So I wouldn't let that hold you back at all. The fit and finish on this holster is also fantastic, second to none. There are no sharp edges on this. Everything's been polished and smoothed out on all the corners, so nothing's going to snag on you, not even on these clips or anything. Nothing's kind of been an afterthought here. So it's really a complete package, and they thought it through very well. You know, I haven't had this get caught or snag or stab me or poke me in any uncomfortable way. So kudos to them again for building a really, what I think is a, you know, real quality product, and probably, you know, one of the best, if not the best holster in the marketplace. This holster is also more ergonomic over the standard Axis and Aegis holsters. And the reason why I say it's more ergonomic, there's a couple reasons which we'll get into. They're also pros, but where they've moved the retention screws, they've been able to kind of slim down how wide this holster is, and also the new angle at which your magazine is sitting makes it more comfortable to reach for that extra magazine and do a reload. So again, they've you know, really thought through appendix carry, and you know, through use what's you know, what's kind of been lacking within their last holster, and applied those lessons learned with this holster here. So again, it's definitely more ergonomic over these standard holsters. And also, I just, you know, my initial impression of this was just, I personally found it to be more comfortable than the standard holsters for a variety of reasons, which we'll get into underneath the pros category of this. But, you know, you can put this holster on and you'll forget about it. You'll forget it's there. It'll melt into you. I've never worn a holster that's been this comfortable before. So I can't praise that enough. All right, let's get into, you know, the pros of this holster, why you would want to choose this holster over, say, a standard Axis, Aegis, or somebody else's appendix carry holster. So number one, the thinner profile on the Kydex itself. So we're talking about right here, the thickness of this actual piece of Kydex right here. It's really, you know, it's pretty thin, and I would say it's substantially thinner than the standard holsters that they offer. It's certainly thinner than, like, say, the QVO Wingman I owned. So that's definitely a pro. And the reason why I say that's a pro is because, you know, if you're already carrying this, you know, inch piece of metal in your waistline, you don't want to add on another, you know, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch of Kydex back there. So, you know, really thinning that down has made a significant difference, I think, in how comfortable the holster feels, but also how well it can conceal. So again, they did a great job with that. There's enough Kydex on here to make you feel like your firearm is safe, it's secure, it's not going to come out. It's got kind of what I would refer to as like a positive retention. It's got that click that I complained about in my last holster review, which I'll link to this video. But their standard holsters don't offer, when you seat the firearm in the holster, it doesn't have that audible click and that kind of tactile feel that lets you know it's seated. It's kind of more friction fit. This one, they changed that. So if you listen, that click right there, oh, it's just the best. It's the best. I mean, if they just did that, that would be worth it all by itself. But they went a lot further than that. But that's just, you know, two pros right there. You're getting that tactile and audible feedback when you seat the firearm in the holster, and your you know, the reduced thickness of the holster itself is also a pro. The third thing I would say is a pro is this ridge that you see here on the magazine side. So you'll obviously have that wing, and that will push the grip of the firearm into you and kind of help contour the firearm to your body. But the magazine has never really had that until now. So now it's got this ridge. It helps kind of push it in just a little bit more and really kind of curves this into your body, which is, again, you know, really, I think, you know, thoughtful and really kind of trend setting within the industry and what other manufacturers, compared to what other manufacturers are doing with their appendix carry holsters. So that's absolutely a pro. The fourth thing I would say is a pro is the retention screws have been moved to the backside, and I talked about that a little bit earlier. But what that has done is reduced how wide this holster is, and that was, You know, another one of my complaints from the original holster, something I thought could have been improved upon, was how wide that holster was. You know, if you're not a very big guy, and I'm not, having a holster that wide in your pants is going to print really easily. This one, you know, it's no wider than it absolutely has to be. And I can really appreciate that. So here on the back, you can see here's your retention screw for your firearm. Here it is for the magazine. And, you know, it's out of the way. You set it and forget it. You know, it's something that's not going to get in the way. Whereas the last one, there are the standard options. The magazine retention was a bump out that they had over here. And the firearm screw was somewhere around here, I think, on that. But again, those weren't bad holsters. Those were fantastic holsters. But these improvements have really just taken something that was at a 10 and brought it up to a 20. So the fifth pro, I would say, is that all of these holsters, the elite holsters from Tier 1, are coming to you pre-cut for optics and suppressor height sights, which is just awesome. Obviously, I don't carry any of those on my everyday carry firearm, which is what you see here. But it's nice to have the room to grow and add those, you know, those skill enhancers onto there. I don't want to say skill in it. That's probably the wrong way to say it. But add those enhancements onto your firearm. It's nice to have the room to do that if I wanted to do it at a later point. So I think that's absolutely a pro. You know, a manufacturer giving you options, there's never anything bad about that. So positive number 6, there's a wide range of adjustability and customizability when you are purchasing your holster from Tier 1. You can do different clips if you want. So you can get discrete carry concept clips, which are, you know, all the rage right now. It's just as popular as having green hair these days. And then you could also get the Ulti clips, which are a little more old school. So both of those are great options. I chose these Tier 1 Easy adjustment clips because I've got Tier 1 clips on my other holster, and they've never failed me. And for what I do and where I am every day, I don't need anything like that. So these are perfect for me. So other things that you can customize, you can obviously customize the color of the holster itself. And, you know, you can, you know, get magazine carriers for extended magazines. You can have the holster cut for a threaded barrel. So you can do some really cool things. Other things that you could get is that if you had a light attached to your firearm, you could order a holster that match that light, so that way you can still use the light on your everyday carry firearm, which is a really cool, of Tier 1 to do that. So just keep in mind, if you do get a light bearing holster from Tier 1, instead of having this wing here, you know, you can kind of see here where it kind of comes down and then in and underneath this belt clip here, that's a wing. What they'll have instead is a claw, and that will basically just come out the side and be like this arched kind of, you know, well, claw, right? Be this arched piece of plastic that'll come up and help push in the grip of your firearm. There's nothing wrong with that. I have that on my old one. It works very well. So it's nothing, again, to shy away from. It's fantastic. But just keep in mind that would be a little bit different on a light bearing holster. All right, let's talk about the cons of this holster. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really have any. You know, the one con I would say, and this is just, you know, being petty for petty's sake, is that you can't mix and match colors when you're ordering it. So when you order this from Tier 1, if you're going with the Elite, you can only do solid color options or solid pattern options. Meaning, you know, the back won't be different from the front. They'll be the same. Generally speaking, on the standard holsters, you could do, you know, the front plate could be, you know, black, orange, red, pink, whatever. They got a dozen different options and colors for you to choose from. And then the back could be something completely different. But that's not an option on these. And I think the reason why that is because the way the magazine carrier is actually molded. So it looks like it's a single piece. So it obviously is a single piece, but it comes around and it kind of folds over. And this is, you know, the retention screw, and it kind of gets jointed here to enclose it into a shell. Which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that's why you can't do different colors. The holster for the firearm itself is 2 separate pieces that are, you know, screwed together. you know, they're not really riveted together, but so for lack of a better term, screwed together. But I think that's why. And really, is that a big deal? No, it's not. I'm not, you know, Liberace over here. I don't need anything that fancy. It's basically going to go into your waist. No one's going to see it. And it's going to sit there. So it's not really a big deal, but if you want to knock them for anything, I guess maybe that. But really, you know, you're just being a petty little bitch at that point. So just don't be a petty little bitch, and you're going to love this thing. It's going to be awesome. All right, so let's come up top and show you what this looks like actually on my person. All right, guys. So this is what the holster looks like once it's on your body. This is just, you know, clothes I would wear on an everyday basis. It's just a polo shirt. I got my long sleeve undershirt because it's a little bit cold out, and I've got some jeans on. So this is pretty much typically what you can expect, you know, for printing and all that good stuff. So you can see, you know, the holster is right there. I have it set on just kind of the default, you know, where the clips were when I first got it. I didn't change anything. So they didn't move them up or down or canted or anything like that. So this is basically what you can expect. I'm sure you can see there's probably a little bit of printing, but you know, my experience, my mileage is that once you're out and you're shopping, you're kind of doing, you know, different stuff, getting gas, whatever, people don't really look at you like that. No one's like really hunting, you know, trying to find like where you're concealing a firearm. People just don't do that. So, you know, having a little bulge here or there, as long as the gun's just not exposed, I typically find that, you know, small printing, a little bit of printing really isn't a big deal. But I'll just kind of turn to the side so you can get an idea of, you know, what it looks like from the side. You know, obviously you're not going to see anything on the back, but that's the other side. So don't get too wrapped up in printing. Obviously, you don't want the gun to, you know, be poking out like crazy. But you know, I think this is, you know, kind of moderate. I just find for my everyday purposes, no one ever looks at it. I've never seen anybody kind of spot it. No one's ever asked me about it. So I just, you know, again, something to this level, I really wouldn't be that concerned about. But hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and appreciate you guys watching. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.